My husband is angry at me for telling people about his affair. I recently found out that my husband of 3 years was having an emotional affair with a married woman who is 6 years older than him and has 2 children. We didn't want children yet. The affair got to the point where they were saying they were in love with each other, and he was even taking her to his parents' home when they weren't there. I found out 3 weeks ago but didn't tell anyone other than my closest friends from back home. I live in another country for my husband. However, now the shock and denial is wearing off. I feel angry. And I don't want to just leave this country with everyone thinking it just didn't work out between us like he wants me to say. So, I decided I want to tell our close friends and family here what happened. At first my husband pretended to be understanding, but eventually the facade slipped and now he's accusing me of trying to cause more pain and that I will devastate his mother. I told him that these are the consequences to his actions and that it was funny when no one was going to find out, but he responded that no, I'm getting revenge and trying to hurt him. I also met up with a couple of my friends here to tell them I'm getting divorced, and one of my friends actually guessed the exact situation with very little information. I guess he really hasn't been subtle, but when I told him this, he blew up, saying that I'm just as bad as him, if not worse, because I'm trying to hurt him purposefully, which he never did. He told me that he would have hoped our marriage meant something to me, but he guesses not if I'm trying to hurt him now. He also said that he guesses we can't be civil anymore. I am being civil. I'm allowing him to sleep in the spare room still until I move out, and we're still texting/talking every day. And he told me that whatever happens to his AP's husband and their kids is on you now. You did this. I feel like this is particularly manipulative because I told my husband that I wouldn't spread the news of the affair around for the sake of the other husband and their kids because I can leave this country but they can't. Finally, he told me to talk to my therapist because the fact I want to tell a few people and hurt him is seriously messed up. I told him that I have talked to my therapist and she said I have every right to tell the truth. He responded by asking if I told the therapist about the death threats. Basically, my husband was a very close friend of his AP's husband, so when the affair was exposed, by me, the other husband told my husband that if he sees him in the same place as either him or his wife he will kill him. My husband came home and complained about that to me, saying it's not fair, the city is small, we have mutual friends. And he even went to meet back up with the guy to tell him that he will do whatever he wants and go wherever he wants with who he wants. So my point is that now when he brings up the death threats, it's just a manipulation tactic. He doesn't care he got death threats, he just cares about having to walk out of a party if they're there. I don't want to spread it around for the sake of the other husband and their children, but why should my husband just get to pretend that it just didn't work out and carry on here like nothing happened, when he betrayed me in the worst possible way and now I have to move back home and completely start again? How can I explain to him my side of this? Or is there even a point? I don't want to stop being civil, but this is my line in the sand. Is it worth losing civility over? Edit. A lot of comments have mentioned that it most likely wasn't just an emotional affair. I'm well aware it was likely more, and honestly the emotional affair and being in love is already the absolute worst thing he could have done. Just worded it that way cause I don't have concrete proof, not that I need it. Edit 2. For everyone saying I should tell AP's husband, that is literally the first thing I did. I sent him everything, all of the screenshots and proof I had. My husband also told me I was wrong for doing that. No regrets. Comment. What's to explain? He had an affair. It wasn't just emotional. He was having sex with her at his parents' home. People keep secrets when they're ashamed. You are not ashamed because you did nothing wrong. Of course he doesn't want his bad actions exposed. Not your problem. He did what he did, and now he has to live with the consequences. If he didn't want people to know that his friend's wife, he shouldn't have fucked his friend's wife. It's too bad that he has lived his life in such a way that he doesn't want people to know who he is, but that's hardly your problem. There's no reason to argue with him about this. Tell him that when people ask why you're divorcing, you'll tell them the truth. He's the liar, not you. P.S. I always told my husband that if he ever cheated on me, the first thing I would do is tell his mother. She would have berated him for all time. He has remained faithful. I would tell everyone why we're splitting. I'd rent a billboard. You don't get to betray me, and then also get me to keep the betrayal to myself. None of this is on you, because you didn't step outside your relationship. He was trying to hurt you, because he cheated on you, and had to know it would come out sooner or later. He is trying to hide and blame you for the consequences of his action. Screw that. You tell whoever you want. Also, how many times did we hear about the cheater later claiming that it was the cheated on spouse who actually cheated and destroyed the marriage? In this case, it would be even easier for the ex, because OP is leaving the country. He could destroy her reputation behind her back and she'd never know. I love the gaslighting. He's saying if the marriage meant anything to you, then why would you purposely hurt him? If the marriage meant anything to him, then he wouldn't cheat on you. This is more than an emotional affair if he's bringing her to his parents' house when no one is there. I seriously doubt it's to have a chat over a cup of tea and cookies. If how he looks to others is so important to him, then running around with his close friend's wife is not a good look for him. This is the bed he made. Now he must lie in it. I'm so sorry he did this to you. This is all his doing. He f***ed around, and now he's finding out. You should divorce him and go find a better life. You're still walking away with your head held high. You know your self-worth, and know you deserve better. As for your husband, he's an immature He made the choice to cheat, but he's blaming everyone else for his behavior, or blaming them for the fallout. He won't take responsibility for his choices and he's gaslighting you. You're well rid of him. You owe him nothing. He is bullying you because he doesn't want to face the consequences of his actions. Why should you protect him? He doesn't deserve any protection after he betrayed your marriage. What he did is on him, and the fact that the AP's husband found out about it is on him. Story 2. Am I wrong for feeling weird over my best friend's and boyfriend's friendship? Hi. I did not know where else to go to. For simplicity, we're gonna refer to my best friend as Mary and my boyfriend as John. I have been friends with Mary since high school and have been dating John for the last 2 years. When I introduced Mary to John about 2 years ago, they seemed to get along great, which I was happy about. As we hung out more often, me, her, and him, they began to get more comfortable, cracking jokes, which kinda turned into inside jokes between them, and sometimes even coming together to crack jokes about me. This was when I kinda began to feel weird about the whole thing. This was the first straw. In the beginning of our relationship, me and John were going through it. We were not together yet and I guess John was really down over it that he wanted to go out and just so happened to invite Mary out. Mary then tried to call me to ask me to join but I was asleep. She still ended up going, apparently. I came up and he tried to ask her if I was serious about him, etc. Mary was reluctant to tell me anything about the conversation. I was extremely bothered, but for lack of setting boundaries I just let it go, but it has always stayed in the back of my mind. What really blew me away was when one day, me and John were arguing and John texted Mary, no matter what happens between me and, that won't affect our friendship. This really did it for me. One time while me and Mary was at the bar with other friends, she was kinda tipsy and kept asking for John. When is John getting here, etc. I brushed it off. In another instance, she referred to John as her bestie soulmate. She's never even called me that. Last year, for Valentine's Day, John wanted to surprise me with a gift. So he invited Mary to meet him at the mall to do so. They proceeded to get my gift and then get something to eat. I peeped Mary's location and say she was in his city and I instantly knew what it was. I was livid. I tried calling her but she denied my call. I was calling and texting him and he eventually picked up. He explained to me they met up to get me something and then went to eat because they were hungry. He made me feel like I was overreacting and wrong for even thinking that way. Now Mary is upset with me, stating next time she's just going to have him text her ideas because she does not want to be put in that position again. Now a year later we're here. I get into a miscommunication with Mary and vent to John about it. John kinda gives me a blasé response, stating I should have mentioned something to her, and that friends are not perfect and she's still a good friend. I've been triggered for like 3 days now, and feel like I need to bring it up, but every time I do, I'm made to feel like I'm tripping. I do deal with insecurities, etc. But who the hell doesn't? I also feel like I have passed the statute of limitations for some things since it's been so long. I'm really lost and don't know what to do. She's also given me the friendship ick and now I have the ick with him too. Any opinions? If you guys have questions, let me know. Comment. Girl, you are not tripping, you're skydiving. This ain't just about insecurities, it's about boundaries and respect. John and Mary are crossing lines like they're playing hopscotch. It's time to have a serious talk with both of them and lay down the law. If they can't respect your feelings, then it's time to re-evaluate who's really got your back. You deserve better, sis. Period. Your boyfriend and best friend teaming up on you is one thing if they have your best interest in mind and you're actually being unreasonable. If they independently realize you need help. It's another thing when it's inappropriate collusion. Going out solo with someone's partner when they're not on good terms is snake behavior. My final straw would have been when my partner is texting my friend and telling them if we break up, they'll keep being friends no matter what. Get the fuck out of here, LMAO. Their relationship is inappropriate, and you've done a poor job at setting boundaries. I guess your fear is that you don't want to look petty, jealous, and controlling. It's not controlling to not want your boyfriend and best friend siding against you and calling each other soulmates. I'm afraid at this point, it's progressed so far that any intervention from you will come across as petty and only push them further along in their inappropriate, boundary-stepping entanglement. Prepare yourself for the worst, but hope for the best. I see why you have the friendship ick with her. She gives me the ick vibes for sure. Seems like she's determined to be in your man's life regardless of how it makes you feel. I would have a serious talk with him about if he wants to keep being with you, then he needs to set boundaries with this girl and their friendship, and it needs to be made clear to her as well that things needs to change. If he can't do that, then I feel like it shows where you stand. I think you should tell your partner to stop dismissing your feelings and that he has to set boundaries with her or it's over. I would also keep your eyes open in case something does up happening between them. Him making you think you're overreacting is a red flag considering how often they hang out alone and their inside jokes. Them making jokes about you is hella weird. Edit, during the time you've been with John, has she had any partners? If not, girly, run. I kinda wanna say check his phone, but that feels like too much considering there is no actual proof they have something going on. Maybe have a conversation with him first, and if you keep being dismissed and keep having weird vibes, then check his phone. I'm really hoping for your sake that they're just really good friends and not having an affair. Just reading this post gave me the "this happened to me but with my ex who I let back into my life as a friend. Guess what? They confessed their love for my bestie, she kept it a secret, and it ended up with me on the out. This fight is already lost. Anything you do at this point is oh she insecure or jealous, he's already defending her, just take the loss and break up / cut them both out."